If you guys are wondering what that is, it's a crappy version from my own vocal cords of kind of like the military version of what generally happens at the funerals when they're saluting and kind of, thanking, the men that have passed away for their service. But of course, I have family members who used to be in the military and are or have been in the military. So of course, I respect any veterans and such. But the reason being I use that is I'm using that as a metaphor as to what just happened today, December 12th. I mean, not December 12th, December 14th, 2017. This is the day that the FCC decided to get a hold of our freedom of speech and basically crumble it to rubble. So now there's a good chance that we will not have our net neutrality anymore. In fact, it might still be working right now, but they don't have the right to do it yet. But very soon, sometime around later January, according to a lot of my friends, especially my friend who does a lot of internet type stuff, and also does a lot of business / computer classes for his degree, which will probably be in very interesting, troubleshooting when it comes to computers. But nonetheless, my friend explained it to me that that's kind of what is going to now happen. And he also explained to me some of the things that I probably did not know or probably already knew, but wasn't fully aware of as much as he was. But now is final. There's no piggybacks. There's no, changes in vote. It was taken away. The only thing that we can really do now is hope that Congress and the courts are able to repeal it, not repeal it, but are able to reinstate net neutrality and veto and or take out their law that they just passed through the FCC / FTC, which I don't fully agree with this passing, as it takes away our own net neutrality, our own free speech, and it takes away what we've been working on and what innovators and businesses and different entrepreneurs have been using to improve and innovate our own businesses, our own passions, our own interests. And in a sense, if we got popular enough on YouTube, this is general, okay? If we got popular on YouTube and we were doing something that we loved and people loved what we loved, then at some point, some of us could actually consider it part of our own business. Meaning, if you think of YouTube and Markiplier and some of those people that are actually monetizing their videos, I do not, but if I were to, then, I can totally see where that would work. But definitely, those people that got very popular because of the passion and the things that they love to do, and in a way it is their job, but in a way also it is their passion, they're able to do it because net neutrality was around and is around as of right now. But sooner or later, it's going to be taken away fully, and we might not have it. This is going to suck so much. I don't know how the schools, colleges, universities, high schools, and any other learning institution is going to fall back onto this, or to be more specific, is going to react to this and going to have to deal with it, because this is going to affect the way that we study, because thanks to the internet we've been able to do things and study in specific ways of things to learn and to understand what is at stake, and to understand how we're able to be open to the internet to do what we have to do, to research the research that we need, and not to be controlled by big corporations that don't understand what this will do to many different people. You know, and when I say corporations, I'm talking about corporations. I am talking about the ones that control the internet, the ones that usually have your broadband, your internet, your Wi-Fi. Now we won't have anything such as complimentary Wi-Fi anymore. Nope, we probably won't. Now we have things where we have to pay everything, maybe even after school. Maybe just for me to use the internet for 5, 10, 15 hours a day, depending on my school stuff that I have to get done. Now I might have to pay for every hour $5, $10. So think about that for a moment. As a college student, knowing that college students generally have to pay a lot of our stuff, and in high schools and usually below, sometimes some of your stuff is paid for through taxes and other things. But after you go to college, after that, you go to college and you have to pay for a lot of things. Let me just put this into perspective. So $15 times 15 hours times $15 an hour. So every single day, I'll be having to spend $225. Now times that by 7. If we times that by 7, of course I could do this in my head, but I choose not to at the moment. If I times that by 7, by the end of the week, by 7, I would be spending $1,575. And knowing that some of us have hotspots, when we need to use them, let's times that into, not times that, let's add that into our equation. Let's pretend at the moment, and this is just an estimate, but most people, especially if you're with Verizon or a few other different companies, let's say it's about 350, about, because usually that goes with all of the other parts of your combos in your phone plan, generally. So we enter that in. So technically, in a sense, you're almost $2,000 out of your own money. And for college students, that's not great, especially since a lot of us have to pay tuition generally. And then along with the tuition, we have to pay, either by, we have to pay out of hand, we have to pay through FAFSA, or we have to pay through another program and or source that is helping us out. And that, and even though we pay through that, sometimes we have to pay them back and all the other things that might happen. With all those three things connected, this is a big problem. A very, very big problem. And it's a big epidemic. now. It's not the World Wide Web anymore. Now it is the worldwide payable web, meaning the worldwide I have to pay in order to use my internet web, or as I like to call it, the WWPW, which is what I feel like we are going to go to. But nonetheless, a lot of us have a lot of work to do, so I hope everybody's having a good semester. I still have some exams to do. But I'm just having a quick moment talk with you guys, just to make you guys understand that now we only can be very much hopeful that the courts and or Congress are able to be understanding and get with their own opinions and their own points, and hoping that they keep net neutrality alive. As in a lot of ways, according to a lot of people, including, people in general, it's kind of a disruption of our own free speech. So, it's like our free speech has been taken away. And what can we do? Anyways, I'm going to start my things that I have to do. And then I have to get that work done, and I have an essay to finish. And after that, I can finally take a break. But how the heck can I take some breaks when some of the things I might want to do very soon might not be available to me? I guess we'll just have to see. I will try my best to put in more videos I can and try my best to add different things. But as I've said already in one of the videos, I thank you all for your support, and I thank you all for the subscriptions, and I hope you guys will still stay even when net neutrality, if it does and will go away. Then at least I can say that from the time when I was here, and if you guys are still able to somewhat pay the dues that you have to pay in order to watch me or watch any other YouTuber, aside from me even at times, then at least you guys will be able to enjoy the content that I have left, because there might not be time, or there might not be enough time for me to always be on here as much as I always am. And that also includes editing and a whole bunch of other things. This is going to change the general demographics and aspects of what the internet and what our own economy and our own life is made under. And to some effect and some extent, this is going to affect many different aspects of our government, of our way of thinking, of our lives. And the last thing I heard, by the way, sorry, it just is we're probably going to have to see what the GOP also has to do with it, because I've been hearing that the GOP and a whole bunch of other different organizations of our government and of our whole social network of the United States in general are doing to try and fight against this being passed. At least we have that to hope for, and we still have a slight chance to do it. So even though, yes, we have lost it technically, we still have time, because we still have to hear from Congress, and we still have to hear from everybody else that is trying to go against it and trying to fix it and trying to stop it. Let's just hope that they are able to do it. That means that we still have to fight the fight in a metaphorical sense. just like the metaphorical sense of the song that I played at the starting of this. Because technically it has passed now. And there's not much left for our net neutrality. You might see small glimpses of our internet changing, even if it is still the www, the free World Wide Web. To some extent, it'll be a restricted version of it. Don't expect yourself to get really good videos, all good quality. Expect them to go slow. Anyways, we have progressed in a fast-paced society, and we might possibly have reached our climax now, and are going down this spiral of falling action. We may have reached our climax, and now it is the falling action of possible problems to come. But I hope that if it were to happen this way, that we would have that climax again. That would stay climaxing. Sorry if my arm looks weird or whatnot. These things will go away. I'm just tired and I have a lot of things to do. But excuse me, sorry if that was gross. I hope that we will reach that climax and stay at that climax if we are able to fix this. That would be my hope. And maybe we can have a much more stronger Title II that should never be disbanded. But nonetheless, I thank you all for everything you guys do. And I hope you support the best you can all the YouTubers, especially the ones that are, popular and are trying their best to stay with what they like to do, such as Markiplier, for instance. I hope that you'll find some way to do it. And if not, then maybe what I'd recommend for millennials, especially young children, if they were not born in the early parts of the 90s and didn't really see some of the things, this and that, what I would recommend is doing something that I feel like some millennials don't do nowadays. They don't pick up a book and read it and cite it and do it the old-fashioned way. Looks like we might be doing that now. So if you're going to cite something, make a point about something, expect for it to possibly be now old school, word for word. If for instance you're quoting my YouTube channel or my YouTube video right now, you might have to do it old-fashioned. Instead of typing it and making it into a specific format for MLA, APA, and all the other stuff, you might have to do it old-fashioned. Padua. Or, well, not Padua. Okay, yeah. You'd have to do it this way. You probably would go P so-and-so name. Of course, I'm not gonna say my exact name. And then Alfonso. And that'll be it. P ... comma Alfonso. Or you might have to go and use my name. Excuse me, sorry. Or you're just gonna have to use my handle, U1405550, quotation marks, the end of net neutrality. And then you're probably gonna have to underline it, and then you're gonna have to go YouTube, www. And then put a channel name, put the date I posted the video, etc. Because that is our overarching reality. Now, I'm not going to say what my last name is, of course, in this, but that was as an example, okay? P something, comma Alfonso, or my handle, etc. Alright, this is U1405550 signing out. I must get to work now.